The Learning Journey in association with Turn It Up Tuesday, hosted by Ross Audio presents Did You Know? And this week we'll be looking at choosing to be dunce, a complex conversation on academic expectations in Jamaica. You remember back in those days, if you were a brilliant student or a trying student, you would have a sense of achievement if you were in that category. Remember when everyone wanted to be the top 10 of their class and the teacher would announce it at the end of the year? Remember back in those days, if you were not brilliant, you'd have the bell to motivate you. And you had to think quickly, especially when the belt was coming down. Remember when boys and girls studied the Junior English Revised or the First Aid in English for their examination? Yes, remember those days too. It was a national disgrace if someone told you that if you saw your name on a bullet cake, you'd eat it. Back in those days, and somewhat today, we can say that education was seen as a social mobility. In Jamaica, being brilliant at school is often a pathway for social mobility. It has a potential to lead to better job opportunities and improve the quality of life. Jamaican culture often has high expectation as it relates to children, and they value education, with families encouraging their children to excel academically as a means of achieving success and respect. The common thought is that what I did in my generation, I expect for the generation to come to improve on it. Yes, excelling academically was seen as one pathway for opening doors to scholarships and further educational opportunities, both locally and internationally. When I left Jamaica for England, I had the same expectations of the students that were in England. But I soon noticed that some students had a slang that they described others who completed the work on time and were academically inclined. For the first time, I realized that it was not fantastic for some students to work hard, in some schools that is. And the schools that I was placed in, yes, low achievement schools back in UK. In other words, I found out that time that it was cool to be dunce. Yes, dunce. Dunce refers to a person who is slow at learning or sometimes classified as stupid. We should never use these words. So when I saw a little boy in Jamaica, ready as Freddy to go to school, and on his knapsack or backpack, whatever you want to call it, I saw the word dunce, I was really upset. Yes, I wondered what had happened to Jamaica. It seems that popular culture has now influenced our education system, where it's okay to be dunce. But pardon me, all Jamaicans have skills, and I would never classify anyone as being dunce. But let's go a bit deeper. While academics might not be the only way forward, there are skill sets that individuals must have. Hence the need for a solid educational background. The ideological position of being dunce is not okay and it must be addressed, or else we'll have a social problem. And I think we have some problems associated with this already. A problem that will cost Jamaica and other countries dearly. But why take on a dunce personality? The pressure of excelling academically can be immense. By adopting a position of preferring to be dunce, a student might try to find a way to escape the high expectations that accompany the stress of education. We have to realize that sometimes education is really stressful. Some students might feel that education is not right for them. The system is just not right for them and not serving them in their interest and nurturing their talents, especially in the areas that they are good at. Claiming or preferring to be dunce can be a form of rebellion based on the system. And of course, I would say that the parent who bought that bag, I think they thought it would be cool. But listen, dunce is not really being cool. Sometimes the fear of failing to meet expectations can be overwhelming, that students find it easier not to try, so dunce becomes cool. But rather than saying, I want to be dunce, I think we can see something else, right? By saying they'd rather be dunce, they might be trying to protect themselves from the potential disappointment, embarrassment, and judgment as it relates to failure. What I saw in England was somewhat connected to peer influence and cultural factors. And I want to apply the same to Jamaica within the context of what I'm talking about. In some environments, students might claim a preference of being dunce as a way to fit in. To be honest, I would want the name Dunce. However, with the concept of Dunce, we have to understand the implications. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Over time, students who consistently undervalue their own self-worth and academic achievement might find that their performance declines to a point where it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's going to be missed opportunities. Students will disengage from academic pursuit, and they might find themselves not being able to have the opportunities and professional growth as it relates to their career pathway. On a positive note, students who reject the pressure of academic excellence might just find a pathway to develop other skills. And these skills sometimes are connected to art, sports, vocational subjects, and so forth. But remember, the foundation is necessary. Hence, if you have a 5, 6, and 7-year-old saying to be Dunce is okay, be worried. Understanding the reason behind the sentiment of being Dunce can help educators and parents address the underlying issues and support students in finding a path to strengthen their interest and, of course, their pathway. However, the reality is, it can't be cool to be Dunce. Simply put, preparation for old age starts while you're young, hence the need for good quality education. Share this presentation with others so they can educate others to emancipate them from this sort of Dunce ideological assumption, which is totally bad. Over to you, Rossi.